Welcome back to Plots with a Twist,
where we discuss books,
amongst other things. And today is Black History Month starting, right? Yes.
Yes.
Always a great month, but what will we say? Every day is Black History for us. But yeah, we want to start this month by doing some Black themed videos. So we do apologize. Our wrap up will be a little late. We'll have it next week.
Yes,
for you.
we got you guys.
Or maybe later this week. We'll see how our schedules work, but we'll see. But yeah, we just wanted to kind of get into some things. What we doing?
So we are doing a video about books that we feel that need to be made in the big screen.
Yep, a movie, silver screen,
television show,
series,
something
whatever
that we want to see visually. Books that we've read by Black authors that we feel deserve some, some live action stuff.
All right, so let's get into it. All right, so you want to start or you want me to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
So the first book that I would love to see made into, which I promise you, like probably in a couple years it probably will be, a nice little biopic memoir, is Becoming by Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Y'all know how I felt about that book. I loved it. And I feel like it's Michelle Obama, so of course she's going to have her movie and the Obamas, but I want her to have her own movie.
I think they have some kind of little docuseries on Netflix. With her.
I want them to cast Gabrielle Union. No, I'm just playing. She's the first person that came to my mind. She don't look like her, but
who could be? But she could be.
She could play her, and I feel like she's a good no nonsense
Yeah, but I don't know.
Well, she would have to play like Michelle, like in her 30s. Tika something would be a good.
But
who
you
would
gotta
play
have
young
someone
Michelle?
who has some acting chops. I don't know.
That's a good question.
What's her name?
Kiki Lane.
Marseille. And
yeah.
Yes.
She'd
be a cute little Michelle, but she's too young. So in a few years, she could be Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that'd be cute. All right, for me, one book that I would love to see on the big screen, and here's Charlie making his
cameo
right in 2021.
Okay, go sit down, Charlie.
Right. One book I wouldn't mind seeing on the big screen that I read. I think it came to mind because I'm going to read her latest book, and that's On the Come Up. I feel like because the Hate You Give, that's On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. So I feel like because The Hate You Give is a movie, they might as well keep it going.
Yeah.
And On the Come Up, what was it about? It was about this young up-and-coming, well, she wasn't up-and-coming, but this young girl who really aspired to be a rapper, a rap legend. She was really good at freestyle battles and really just wanted to make it for her family's sake. Help them financially if she could. So I thought that would be a great one to transition to the big screen, because I don't know who could play her. I don't know who raps, but I think that one has a nice vibe and energy where it can transition nicely to the big screen. It has some of the same themes as The Hate You Give, and just stereotyping, kind of someone's isolated, or a lot falling on one person's shoulders to kind of speak for the community, speak for her experience. So some of those same themes are brought up, but just in a different way. So I think that one would transition nicely to the big screen. So On the Come Up, I think that would be a cute one.
Okay, so next book I think I would want to see, and hearing Kristen talk, I didn't necessarily put books that I think would translate nicely. I just want to see it. So I wasn't really thinking about the story.
Yeah, think about the cinematography, the direction, the tone. Oh, maybe I should go to
film school.
Yeah,
look into it. So the book that I would choose is Sula by Toni Morrison. That book was about Sula, who she returns back to her hometown after being a woman of the world for some time. And just comes back and has all these experiences with her old childhood friend. It was a good book. And y'all know I'm bad at synopses. Is that
you
it?
all right?
So yeah, that's what it was about. And I would just like to see that, just because the way the story was told, I just feel like it'd be nice to see. First of all, they would have to cast a lot of young black women, so I think that would be nice to see on screen. And it's such an old book. I'm surprised it hasn't been made into a movie already. And I would just really like to see it because I really enjoyed the story. Just to me, it was just like about like womanhood, or black womanhood. So I would like to see that on screen. They could probably even they couldn't do a little show because it was Sula was
too
going
short.
through a lot. Yeah, it was a short book. I think in the time it did go through some years, but
they would probably make up a whole bunch of stuff that make you mad.
Right. It would just need to be a movie.
All right. So the next book I think would translate nicely to the big screen. Is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I can see that.
Yeah.
Like it's like one, one kind of tone and, vibe when you're focusing on one sister and one tone and vibe when you focus on another sister. But if you don't know,
city life and then the tropical.
Right. So Clap When You Land is about two sisters or half sisters rather, that don't know about each other's existence until their father passes, leaving one sister to go visit the other sister, and how their families kind of have to deal with the fallout of his deception, I guess. Well, one, I guess the parents knew, the mothers knew, but just basically the sisters kind of reckoning with the way that their dad kind of left things behind and left them to pick up the pieces. So I think that would be really nice. Let's see. I can't think of who I would cast. Maybe we should have thought more detail and just really ran with this theme, like cast. Yeah. Direction,
picked out who we wanted
everything. But yeah, I think that would be a good one to go onto the big screen. She wrote it in poems, but so it probably have a lot of take a lot of time to build out a script. But I thought it was pretty good. It had the emotions there that I feel like would translate nicely to the big screen. So Clap When You Land.
I love that book.
You mentioned it though.
Okay, so the next book that I would love to see made into a movie, Kristen gonna hate, but I don't care, is Queenie by Candace Carty Williams. So Queenie, if you guys remember, it was a story about a young woman in London who basically was just going through a lot. She had to move back home. No, she moved out of her parents' house, and she was just like had like a crap job. Right?
No. She was like a journalist.
Her boyfriend.
Never mind. They broke up. Girl, so you obviously don't want to see it in the theater.
So yeah, her Caucasian boyfriend broke up, and then she had all these issues with dealing with men who just like seemingly like to abuse her. And so she just had a lot going on, and Kristen didn't like the book that much. But I liked it because it was, even though it wasn't supposed to be all the time, but it was funny, and it gave you insight into like Queenie and why she was doing some of the things she did, even though they weren't like, it was very self-deprecating like behavior. But I would like to see it
on it's a show on HBO that I honestly thought was like some type of version of Queenie. What is it? It's with the girl from chewing gum.
Oh.
But anywho, I could see her playing Queenie. She's hilarious.
Yeah, I can see it in my head, but I forgot the name of it.
It's something. This might undo me or something like.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name of it. But I thought that was going to be something like Queenie, but I haven't even watched it. But that one's really deep. Yeah. So maybe they can, if they were to do something like that, maybe that is someone's take. They read Queenie and that was their take.
Maybe
away.
I need to watch that show.
I do too.
It's the fact that
but
I forgot
maybe
what Queenie was about.
Sometimes when books go to screen, they clean it up. So maybe I enjoy it.
No, they need to leave Queenie the way it is if they do.
They need to clean it up. All right, so
I couldn't remember what it was about. So at this point,
another book I wouldn't mind seeing on the big screen is, even though it doesn't have the best reviews, we actually enjoyed it, and that's American Spy by
Lauren Wilkinson.
Lord, I forgot. I think that one would translate to the big screen because, like I was just saying with Queenie, I think they could clean it up and make it a little bit more involved. And I think that's the type of book that needs more context that probably you need to gain visually or maybe through clips or something. But if you haven't read American Spy, it's basically about this woman. She's a FBI agent who's tapped by the CEA to go undercover to infiltrate this leader in one of the smaller African countries, I believe. Lord, it was during a communist era, but I'm recalling more details than you probably would. But basically, she ends up falling in love with him, and just kind of gets herself in a mess where she has to kind of spend her life running a little bit, but and the book is basically her writing her story to her kids
and telling them what the tea was,
right?
What happened.
So I think that would be perfect on the screen,
and I
think
do think
it would
that's
be
one
better.
of those that they would make better.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot more
better
successful. I think people could get the nuances maybe that I picked up, and because I feel like the story was good, it was just the expectation of what the premise promised didn't meet what you was reading.
I think, and a lot of it was that there were a lot of moments in the book that probably she could have not put in there, and it would have
been just fine.
Yeah, because a lot of it would pick up the pace, and then it kind of would like stay at a pace. It's like, okay, we really didn't need to know all of this, like this part, so kind of dragged it out.
I think it'd be good.
Me too. Okay, so the next book that I believe I would want to see as a movie is another Toni Morrison book, and that's Love by Toni Morrison. And that book was about basically, I think, 4 women that span over a few generations that loved the same man, like in different ways, and how it just, when he passed, like how it affected each one of them and their relationships with each other, like their love for this man, how like it basically dictated how they dealt with each other. And I would like to see that as a movie, because the town that they I forget the name, it escapes me right now, but the town that they talk about, it seemed like a interesting town. It's a place where it used to be like really elite for black people, and then as the years went by, people kind of forgot about it as like a touristy town. And based on this, I want to say like a hotel, but not kind of like a hotel that this man ran. And basically, like, after the years went by, like, it wasn't the bee's knees anymore. So I think that'd be interesting to see on screen. And y'all know Toni Morrison tells a really good story, so I just feel like all her books should be made into movies, all her fiction books.
I haven't experienced that yet.
Yeah, you need to get on. Oh yeah, because you read the one that's a movie, right? Or no?
No, Beloved is a movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't think The Bluest Eye is.
Okay, but yeah, so I would like to see that as a movie. That's another one that I think that it would just be it'd just be cool to see that one acted out. So
okay,
yeah, Love by Toni Morrison.
All right, so another one I wouldn't mind seeing as a movie is one I don't even know if we've really talked about before, because I think we read it well before we kind of created our channel. But I think this one kind of would need to be something more drawn out on film, and that's My Sister the Serial Killer by name will be there.
Oakwood and Break.
Don't try it. But yeah, I think so that one was about this woman. She was a nurse, I think. Was she a nurse?
Yeah,
she was in the medical field. And her sister, so she was like dark skinned, her sister was like light, and everyone kind of was drawn to her, and basically all these men would be drawn to her, and something would happen where her sister would just end up killing them, and happen multiple times, and pretty much the nurse sister would clean up her sister's mess. So it's meant to be kind of like a dark comedy, so I feel like that will probably translate a little bit better on the screen, because you can kind of pick up those humorous
That's
moments.
That's one I could see as a series a little bit. Like,
oh Lord, here we go. Like a little bit like, no, not like a Dexter, but like
but in a different way. It's just the murder part that makes it like
probably like I can't think of the show, but it is a show where he's a killer. Yeah. Yes, he is. Maybe something like that. So yeah, black version. So yeah, I think that humor would pick up more, because reading it, I got a glimpse of that kind of dark humor, but it wasn't as humorous as I would have liked it to be, because I can sense it, but it just was like, girl, your sister's stupid. Like, just leave her behind. But it's like that blood is thicker than water thing. So I really enjoyed the story. So I think it would be a good, film adaptation, show adaptation, I think would be really good for that book.
Okay. So the last book that I would like to see as a movie of some sort is actually something that I think they are making into a limited series.
Hold on.
What?
You ain't drinking your wine.
I am.
I have not seen you once.
Are you kidding me? I've been drinking it. Yours is lower than mine, but that's because Kristen's a lush. But so the last book that I would like to see turned into a movie is The Vanishing Half, and I believe that it is going to be made into a limited series on some maybe HBO Showtime. But Vanishing Half is something that we've talked about recently on this channel, so you guys should know what it's about. The pair of twin sisters who grow up in Mallard, Louisiana.
Girl, it's amazing
it's fresh
how
in my
you
mind. I have a bad. My
specific.
long-term memory is bad. Like even with books, like I can remember that I liked it and that what the general, but little details I be forgetting. But this one is fresh in my mind because we talked about it recently too.
Yeah,
so
review.
They grew up in this town full of just light skin, like really light skinned black people. And one of the sisters, when they grow up or they run away from home, one chooses to live her life like as a white woman because she can pass for white, and then the other one goes the other way and just marries the darkest man she can find, and lives her life as a black woman. And I just think that story in itself was just super interesting, and the book was really good and well written. So I can see why they are making it into a limited series or I think it's a limited series or a show. So yeah, and I'm excited, but they better cast it right. Cause I don't want to see. Do y'all remember when they I read Twilight, and when they came out with the movies, I said, "Ew, that does not look like Edward."
Bella.
No, Kristen, she was okay, I guess, but I was like, yeah,
Robert Pattinson wasn't doing it for you,
girl. No, but yeah, it like the only one that I think they did right was what's his name? What's the boy's name?
Jacob.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I can't stand when you read a book and then they cast a person and you're like, ew, that's not what I imagined. But
right.
Yeah, but they're looking for acting ability and all that type of stuff. So
okay, I'm not even gonna go down that road.
But yeah, right. I can't wait to see that.
So the last one, it's a toss up for me. I had two, but I think I'm gonna roll with this one. So the last one I'd like to see as a film. Only reason I wanted, let me see. The last one I wouldn't mind seeing as a film. I think it would make a little cute Netflix movie, kind of how they did To All the Boys I Loved Before. I think it was a really cutesy book, and that's You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. So I read that last year. Thought it was a really cute book. It's about this girl who, high school, she's a senior. Really has focused on getting into her dream school, and then when funding falls through for her to really accomplish her dream, she kind of turns to running for prom queen because it comes with a scholarship that will help her pay for her tuition. So in the process of doing that, she ends up meeting this new girl to the school and kind of strikes up a little love connection. So I thought that book was really cute. And I don't think it gets a lot of love. So, of course, transitioning it to the big screen would, of course, make it really big. But, yeah, I think it would be a cute little Netflix movie to watch here and there, So that's You Should See Me in a Crown.
Okay.
All right. So that's pretty much it. Let us know how you feel about this type of video. We want to do more of, make this maybe a little series. Maybe
just different books that we want to see.
Yeah, make it maybe genre, maybe, attached to different themes. And if you hear that is Charlie.
That's Charlie having fun. So
we or what elements we can incorporate, maybe if like how we start to talk about casting, maybe we can kind of think it out a little bit more. So let us know your thoughts. Let us know what other movies or books you would like to see on the big screen. Like this video, subscribe, ring the bell so you can know when to come back, and we'll see you next time. Bye.